And we back, y'all. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it's not gonna happen this video. I'm saying that right early. Shout out to my girl, Mrs. Best, for joining us today, my co-host, my best friend.
Yes, hello. Like the video, share it, subscribe, all of those good and positive things that support the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel.
Yes, y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Real Housewives of Dubai does pretty good on my channel. So you guys, I don't know if all of you subscribe to me, but make sure you subscribe. Shout out to my girl Jim Bunny. I'm just noticing in the chat. Hey girl, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. We appreciate you. So, y'all, now that we got the pleasantries out the way, this foolishness, this foolishness, this is probably one of the worst reunions I have ever seen in Real Housewife history. Andy had no control. They were all over the place. And I can't. So we're going to spend the time on what they talked about the most since they jumped from topic to topic to topic. And this is where it is. So, yeah, so basically Andy is saying hey to everybody. And then he's, pretty much addressing Chanel, Ayan, and Lisa. He knows that they just watched the last episode that ties before the reunion. And he wanted them to agree to set an intention that they will walk away on better terms. And they both agreed to it, which was good. Do I think it's going to happen? Absolutely not. And I can honestly say after watching this part of the reunion, I think that that's best for them both to part ways for a little bit because there's no fixing this. Yes, it really could have been. They didn't talk about nothing. We're going to spend a lot of the time talking about more so Brooks than anything else. And I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Y'all might not like me for this, but I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I am actually on Brooks' side. I am shocked that I am saying that because I don't like her. But I actually saw her point today. I saw exactly what was going on, and there was a snippet of it that made me go completely on her side. So we're going to be in for that. So I can't wait. So let's talk about, basically the relationship that started between Stansberry and Ayan. And Andy said, so pretty much at the reunion, y'all were still at odds. What happened? So Chanel Ayan let it out. Yeah, she really was. Yeah. Chanel Ayan let it out that they were at an airport and they spent 19 hours together. Drinks were flowing, and they said that when they got back, they will try to build a bigger rapport. And when she said she had told Lisa, and Lisa said she had no idea about them meeting up, and I said, yes, I did. I had texted you to say, hey, me and Stansberry are meeting. And Lisa goes, well, yeah, she usually does text me, but in this instance, I didn't know that they were making events in that way. I don't believe Lisa at all. I believe at this point that she did know, and I think she just felt a way about it. Yeah, it did give that in a few instances. I'm gonna explain them all. And after we watched the flashback of when it came to, Caroline Stansberry and Ayan becoming friends and how everyone was saying that they were the duo they never needed. And I was all like, okay. They pretty much said, Lisa, were you jealous of the relationship? And she says, no, I wasn't. And then everyone was all like, we don't believe you. You seem pressed about the relationship. And I'm gonna keep it real. After watching it back, Lisa did seem pressed, but it wasn't pressed of like jealousy of like, don't steal my best friend. It was pressed about, okay, you and this lady were not seeing eye to eye at all. You both have talked about each other. So it's weird for me that you would want to pursue this knowing that y'all had these odd occasions with each other. And that's what I feel like she was trying to get out. But because Aya was so belligerent in this moment, she couldn't even get it out. She couldn't even really say what she wanted to say. So she calls Ayan a victim. She goes, you're a victim. And, that pisses Ayan off. You can't call her no victim. She get to fuming. She get to just hyperventilate. She goes, I am not a victim. You know I'm not a victim. You know that hurts me. Caroline Stansberry is trying to calm her down. And she goes, no, she knows that is wrong. She knows I'm not a victim. And I'm just like, oh my God. Just acting like a child. So Mrs. Best, The questions I have for you is: do you think Lisa was really hating on the friendship between Stansbury and Ayan? And do you really think that, in terms, was it really a friendship that's authentic to you based on the show?
Um, hmm, I I don't feel like Lisa was jealous. I felt like it was more so because they do have such a long standing friendship. And let's keep it real, Stansberry, even on the Ladies of London show, like she isn't the greatest friend all the time, if that makes sense in terms of like
Hmm.
loyalty. So I do feel like Lisa was not jealous. I feel like she's more so offended at Ayan, because it's
Hmm.
like she says she had an issue with Stansberry because of her, and whether Stansberry denies that or not, we have the proof from the first season. So it
Right.
doesn't. It I don't think she's jealous, but she definitely, I would feel away and be offended if you just kicking it and getting super close with someone who's done something to me that I view as especially if I have a bad relationship with that person from defending you. Like, so I think she was more irritated, and I think it came off as jealousy because she really doesn't have close relationships that are like strong, in my opinion, with the other women in the group that are
Hmm.
left. She just doesn't. Her and Talene, they not cool. Her and Brooks is up and down. When they're good, they're really good. When they're not, they're not. But they're not that close. She's not cool with Ayan right now. She's never been really too cool with Stansberry. So it's like she don't really have nobody in the group. But I don't think it's jealousy. But it's like if your one friend in the group do that, you're gonna feel away. Um, do I think Stansberry and Ayan's relationship is legit? Nah. See, what Ayan doesn't understand in her behavior this season is it's not about you, boo. You may feel like, oh, I'm the star of the show, but to be the star of the show means that you and other women are there. You need those women in order to shine as just the star. So I feel like Ayan has a really big ego and a struggle with admitting when she is wrong. I also feel like Ayan is extremely thirsty as it pertains to fame. And I
Hmm.
felt that way season one, also watching it. And I know everybody loved her. And I thought she was funny because she is funny. But I've always gotten the energy from her of just like thirst. You know, she wants to be the best, she wants to be on top. And it very much so, I think, is why she's becoming cool with some of the women who really said bad things about her and was extremely jealous of her being a breakout star last season. Now suddenly you want to be their friend, girl. Bye. She's fake. I don't like that. And I don't
I
like her
agree.
bald head either. It stresses me out. Makes my teeth itch. I can't do it. I want her to like, if you're gonna be bald, be bald. But stop putting on these cheap synthetic looking wigs that don't stick to your head because they don't know how to lay down the glue to that bald head that she barely shaved. I don't understand it. Please, Ayan.
I don't watch New York Jim Bunny, so I don't know who that is, but we'll see. One of these days I'll catch it. But one of the things also that they brought up, that Andy brought up, is that he asked how their husbands were doing with the feud that's between them two. Have they been able to still keep their relationship? And both of them said no, not really. They have not, been able to keep the relationship. And I think that that is unfortunate. Ayan also mentions that she missed being around her boys. She loves them, and it's been really difficult. They've went on vacations with each other, and I could tell it eats away at her. I really can see that. But at the same time, you caused this. So it's like, yeah, you could be upset, angry, but you can't get mad at her. One, you did her wrong one time already on the show. And then now you're coming around here trying to throw Stanberry in her face when you knew that they already had a riff. And then also, this lady didn't like you season one. So it's like, I can see Lisa's point, but I do think there's a part of Lisa, as I said, I don't think it's jealousy of the friendship. I think it's more of like a stance of, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you in this lady's face when all that's happened? This lady has been, and you didn't make it clear to me that she's apologized for any of the things that she has said and done about you. She was trying to exclude you all last season. So now you want to be cool with her. So yeah, I kind of felt like I saw Lisa's point, and I kind of feel like I still do even today. So moving on from there, we then jump into the situation with Talene and this being her first season and her fallout with Brooks. And we go through the whole Vijay gate and all of this, her ass and her whole situation. So, in terms of that, they asked Brooks, like, why did you. Okay, hold on, y'all. Sorry, I was reading Jim Money's comment. We'll see. I wasn't a fan of New York, and we'll see. I'll take a look at Jim Money just for you. Um, so we get to the section with Brooks, and Andy asked Brooks, "Why did you carry on this situation with Talene and Carolyn Stansberry?" And she goes, "Well, I did carry it on a lot longer, but that's because I was reflecting on how Talene was feeling. So what we did not see is that when her, Sarah, and Brooks and Talene were all at her on her balcony, she was explaining a situation where there was a phone call apparently made to Brooks, Sarah, and Nina from last season, talking to Stansberry talking about Talene and saying that if this is what she's going to be like, I don't want her in the circle. And Talene was looking like she said that, and they were like, yeah, and that was the real reason why Brooks was mad at her because it was like, this is my friend. You already talking about her, and now you trying to ice her out from the show. So it was like Brooks was doing what she said that she did. She was having Talene's back. What Talene did was some old goofy snake shit, which is okay. I'm gonna go ask her about the situation, not considering the fact that Stansbury didn't even tell you she had that conversation and didn't make it known that there could be some validation to how Brooks was feeling. That's what pissed me off, and this would maybe be on Brooks' side because that's kind of fucked up. If you didn't really let her know all of the ins and outs of why I felt this way, even though Brooks was drunk and going through a whole bunch of emotions, I still saw her point. So, Mrs. Best, I'm coming back to you now. How did you feel about that whole timeline and everything of that?
With Selena and Brooks?
Yeah, with Talina Brooks, I was kind of explaining the whole situation of when it came down to why Brooks carried it on. She's saying seeing Talene hurt really did upset her. And what we did not see and what we did not know is that Caroline Stansberry had called Brooks, Sarah, and Nina and told her that if this is what this girl is going to be about, I don't want her on the show. And Talene said, well, Stansberry said that, and they were like, yes, she said that, and Stansbury was quiet as a church mouse. So I want to get your opinion. Does that now, do you see the situation differently? Is what I was questioning because they're all saying that Brooks overreacted, and I don't think she did.
No, I still feel the same. I don't like how this cast though will bring up like all this stuff and the pre-producing that they do off camera and then argue about it on camera. This is the example of why you don't pre-produce, and in my opinion, let Bravo do the choosing of housewives. Stop having friend ofs and keep friends of housewives, and if we need new housewives or you need to add people, whatever the hell, Bravo, go hire somebody, cast somebody, but not.
I
It's only
agree.
messy. I know people like her because she does stand up for herself, and in terms of housewife energy, like, yeah, she works, but I don't trust her.
I don't trust her either because she moves funny. She moves in a way where it's not authentic. Like this situation with the whole, you know, Stansberry outing you or whatever, seeing your underparts and everything of that. And it came across like instead of you saying, Brooks, thank you for having my back, and I'll just watch her, with both my eyes. And if I decide to, make a friendship with her, be cool with it because we should just move on from this. You were trying to make that lady seem like she was instigating something and that she was starting it, but really she was telling you, and I said this before in previous reviews, if this is the context of what we're talking about, she did exactly what she was supposed to do, which was have your back. I'm getting mad at this lady on your behalf because one, I have privilege of a conversation that you don't know about that this lady has told you. So I'm mad about that because she feels like you're not supposed to be in this situation when I brought you to the show. That's a reflection of me. So I just think Talene just looked at this situation wrong. I did from the beginning. I said, I don't think Talene's really looking at it as really someone having your back. I think you're looking at it as she was trying to be messy, and that's not what she was doing. So yeah, I don't trust Talene either. I don't like Talene. I feel like she can go. I don't really think. I know they're not going to let her go because she made too much of an impression on this season. We spent 6 or 7 episodes on this one topic, so I don't think they're going to let her go. But I just feel like she needs to bring something different. So the questions were then asked, about Brooks's drinking and how she's running the business, and they all said that she's a lightweight. She can't handle once she get one drink in her, it's to the moon from there. And Andy makes a comment that production even told Brooks she has to cut that drinking out or limit herself because she does a lot. And then the situation comes up where Talene had called her a drunk, and Talene apologizes about that, and she makes like this kind of backhanded apology almost because she goes, "I apologize for calling you a drunk. I don't think that that's she's a drunk. She's definitely messy." And it was like you could have just kept it at.
Every apology that we will see from Talene from this episode to parts 2 and whatever the hell how many parts they are was
Mhm.
bullshit. And the reason I say that is because she's a first-time housewife and they have a habit of looking at what people are saying online, from comments to podcasts to recappers like us. I feel like newer housewives tend to pay more attention to that. And then they're either going to acknowledge it and confront it with their words, or they'll do strange things like apologize for things that I noticed, at least the pattern of her apologizing for things that I personally saw going viral during certain times of episodes airing. So I don't think any of her apologies are sincere. I'm just gonna say that.
No, I don't
Apologies
think
for
they
that.
are either. I think that they're very backhanded. I think she's doing it to save face, and that's just really what it is. And I feel like, well, you shouldn't even apologize then if that's the case, because I'm still gonna see it the same way, regardless. I might as well just say, just keep your apology and just move on. So once again, Andy's taking some viewer questions. One of the questions they asked was about Chanel Ayan's FTG situation, and does she regret ever revealing that on TV? Because Chanel Ayan said that she was depressed after watching the episode and the situation that's happened. She was saying some African villages are wanting to bring it back because it wasn't much of a practice anymore. And I was like, so they got this from watching Real Housewives of Dubai that they need to bring a practice back that tormented all of you women. They feel like they need to bring it back. Like, what's
I
going on
think
with
they
that?
need to bring clarity on what they're saying. Chanel Ayan
Right.
said that she grew up in a village, not like an African city where, like, even an African slum. She's saying she grew up in a village. In villages in Africa, they do not have the electricity often. They don't have Wi-Fi. There's no cell phone service. I know because my family goes a lot. Um, that's not how it goes. It's not how it goes. So then you're saying that these women who struggle to even if they do have the electricity, is that who are struggling for money, because you're saying you didn't grow up rich, Ayan. You're telling me that they have money for cable or streaming apps and stuff like that. It really is something that's much more difficult for them to afford versus like us getting rid of cable for an app. Like they can't afford the app or cable all the time. Based on what Ayan has told us of her upbringing. I'm not saying that for all of Africa, but what she's saying in her upbringing, how she grew up and where she grew up, that's what the case is. So they magically were able to pay for cable to see the stuff that you said and were so impacted. Ayan be lying to people, and I feel like she tries to manipulate the audience and other women like emotionally by getting upset about stuff that's important, like friendship, loyalty, what you went through in your African village with the circumcision. Like, I genuinely am disgusted with Ayana. It's kind of sad to watch someone like allow a little bit of fame and some more money to like just cause them
So,
to
so
be so vile.
I feel like she could have kept a lot of what she's saying. Like, we get that that's a sensitive topic for her. I'm not trying to dismiss her feelings with it because they're valid. But at the same time, what got me is when she threw that aggression back at Lisa for saying, "This is why I don't like being called a victim, Lisa, is because I've been called a victim in this situation and it hurts me." And Lisa had to say,
Manipulation.
"Whoa, whoa, whoa."
Making herself the victim, proving
Right.
Lisa's point.
Yeah, she said, "I've never said you were not a victim in that circumstance. This is isolated. I'm talking about between us. You're trying to make me the villain and you the victim in our situation." And I completely heard Lisa. Now, because
Yep.
that's how I feel as well. It's because you're trying to right your wrongs by saying, "Oh, well, I told Lisa about the recording. I don't know why she's upset." It's because you still did the action. I don't understand what you don't get about that. You could have told her,
You
"Fine, I
still
don't really care."
betrayed your friend.
Right.
And
That
a
doesn't take away
betrayal
what you
is a
did.
way
Yeah.
to break trust. And you're mad at her, and your anger started with her because she said she couldn't trust you. Ayan gets loud when she is wrong, and she is
Mhm.
extra loud when someone is trying to call her on the wrong. Because as
Right.
Lisa was saying something that made sense, this woman literally starts screaming.
Exactly. And
Like,
that's why I was
'cause
like, when she said she needed water, and they were talking about Ozempic, and she said, and when Lisa said, "Yeah, I got the Ozempic from you. You introduced me." She goes, "I sure did." And she said, "Because you used to take it." And when she started screaming and hollering, I said, "Oh my God."
because Ayan is a narcissist, and she thinks that she can throw daggers first at Lisa, but she
Mhm.
doesn't want or expect anything to come back at her. She didn't want nobody to know that she was on the Ozempic, but based on her siblings, her son, all of that, it's clear. It's very
Yeah,
clear. We know. And
absolutely.
who cares if you know that? So it's just showing me that Ayan is extremely like materialistic and shallow, is what I think.
Exactly, exactly. So then the next question comes up about Michael, Caroline Stansberry's friend, saying that he was her sugar daddy and that he was paying all her bills. Caroline Stansberry said, "Nobody pays my bills but me. No one does that at all." Did she say Lisa was trying to control what she said? Yeah, we'll get to it. She definitely said that. She said that Lisa didn't want her to be friends with nobody. Lisa wanted her to be her puppet and everything. And it's like, man, you are too loud and rambunctious for someone to try to control you. I think you were being loyal to her because these girls were coming at her for no reason, i.e., the one you sitting next to. And then the problem is that they were trying to shame you for having her back when she was very much so being attacked. That's what they did. If y'all don't go back and watch that, go back and watch the finale where I said that Talene and Brooks and I don't know if it was Sarah. I don't know. I think Sarah may have lived. I know it was Talene and Brooks. They completely mind fucked the hell out of Chanel Ayan to the point where she's starting to second guess her own loyalty. And that's where that messed up at. I hope they address that next episode of the reunion part two. I hope they address that because that was a complete mind. It really was. So, but yeah, that's what she did. Yeah, and so what ended up happening is they explained where they got that from about Michael paying Caroline Stansberry's bills, and Brooks said that Michael drunkenly told Ayan, and Ayan called Brooks and told Ayan told Brooks that this is what he's saying, and so Lisa brought up that Michael had said this before 2 years ago when it came to Stansberry that he was paying her bills. And Karen, and then Ayala was trying to clean it up, and this is how I know she was lying because she was trying to clean it up. She goes, "No, he never said that. He never said that. All he said was that he paid for the maid, and that they were arguing a lot, and he wanted them under house." And so Caroline Sansbury said, "Yes, I stayed with him for 3 months. I had overstayed my welcome, and he, was paying the maid's bills. So it was like, so Stansbury, so you couldn't, for the 3 months you were living with him, you couldn't pay for your own maid service, and you couldn't backhand give him some rent money for you staying with him for, I can understand the
You
first month."
couldn't clean up after yourself to where he don't need a damn maid service?
Right.
The hell?
So I don't believe Ayan. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't believe it. I believe Michael said what he said. Now, whether or not it's true, I don't know. To be honest with y'all, let me keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. This is allegedly. I don't know this lady's business. I don't care. Allegedly, I don't think it's Michael that's paying for the bills. I think it's the other man who bought her the sculpture. I think it's him, allegedly. Because to me, I'm not buying somebody $1 million sculpture to put in their living room. I'm not doing that. That's too much of a
Let
gift.
me tell you, she got the simplest husband that one can find. Just because he's young, don't mean he have to be dumb. How the hell you expect anybody to respect you and take you seriously as a man when your wife is over 25 years older than you? And then in addition to that, she got other niggas paying her bills.
I'm
It
just,
just like
I'm just saying.
my husband would be
It's
like,
very,
why
it's
he
a
want to
very,
pay? What y'all got going on? Like that doesn't make
it's a
sense.
very cushy life. So then they come on, they ask Stansberry, does she work? And she goes, yes, I run multiple businesses. I just don't bring them on the show. And Andy asked, did you get a big settlement from her husband? And she said, yeah, absolutely. I got money. And that's what I feel like she's living off of. I do. I'm sorry. I don't, you know, this is alleged because I don't know this lady's business. Like I said, allegedly with the,
When do we
the sugar
see her
daddy.
go to work? When do we see her having
She
an
says she doesn't
adventure?
bring it on the show. But I believe she ran companies. I don't think she does it anymore. I just don't. That's just me.
Somebody would have been like done some sort of a background check on her or looked
Right.
into companies that are promoted or attached to her page and brought them up of the nature. But I don't know. I personally don't think she got a job. I think she's living off the eggs.
I think she does too. And I think, she this is my opinion, y'all. Allegedly, I'm gonna say it again. I believe whoever was that man that bought her that $1 million sculpture, because a word on the curb was that was his house for the season finale. Word on the curb. So I feel like that's who is kicking in. I do. That's my opinion. Allegedly,
I
because
agree
she
with
was so
your
proud of
money
it.
too. It could be child and spousal support. Either way, living off the eggs. Because she does have a 12-year-old, I believe, still. So she should be able to
I
get,
think those boys are twins. I think they're
yeah, the
twins.
twins.
Yeah. Hmm.
And they're like
Yeah.
12. They're kids. So she's definitely still getting some sort of a check there. And then she's able to go with the ex for the college, thing. So I don't know. Whatever she's doing, hey, it seemed like everybody paying
No,
her
it worked. Like I'm telling you, I wish I could
right.
find me a fool that's willing to do all this and buy me $1 million sculpture to put in my living room. Absolutely. I wish I could find that as well. But my whole thing was that I'm not gonna shame her for this because at the end of the day, whether if it's Michael or the dude who bought the sculpture, she got connections and she's able to get it done. It's no different from Brooks over there. And since we're gonna talk about Brooks, and they were talking about, how she gets money from men and whatever, and how Talene had put that out there. So Talene once again apologized for that. But then she's gonna say, well, don't act like you didn't show us no sugar daddy. His name was Shrek. And it was like, Talene, once again, do you mean the apology or you don't? Because I'm about sick of you with this backhanded shit. And then they were all saying, well, everyone has said this about Brooks, and they say, including Lisa. And I said, I ain't never heard Lisa outright call Brooks no hoe on this show. I ain't never heard her say anything about how Brooks gets her money. None of that. If anybody can point the episode out, I will go watch it right now. Put the episode where Lisa said out her own mouth that Brooks is getting money from a sugar daddy or Brooks is out here doing stuff for money. Put it out there. I want to see where episode is it so then I can come back next week and say I stand correct. Lisa did it. Because y'all were trying to pigeonhole Lisa and gaslight her this entire reunion, and it was ridiculous to lean, especially you. I was gonna say I watched every episode. I have not heard her say that. She said other things about Brooks, absolutely, and Brooks is messy, absolutely. But I've never heard that come out of Lisa's mouth. So I really none of the ladies really, not on camera. Now if she said it privately, she can dispute that because we were not here to see it or hear it. So but Brooks, said that she did have a sugar daddy. He ain't giving no money. The last one that she was talking about that was on the Bali trip. She said she didn't sleep with that man. She said she has been falling out private before. And as I said, I believe that. I know women like Brooks. Let me tell you something, y'all. Brooks may be a lot of things, but Brooks is beautiful. Her stature is amazing. Her body is amazing. She knows how to dress. Her makeup, for the most part, be on point. The wigs is a little questionable. But for the most part, you can't take away beauty from her. That lady is gorgeous. So I can 100% see men in Dubai, rich ones at that, taking her out. buying her gifts, giving her money, flying her out. I could 100% see it. So, she it's just that's what I mean. And men do that on looks alone. Because Dubai men out there, the Emirati men, they love black women. No matter how much they try to disgrace it and how much people try to say no, they don't, they do. They 100% do. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. But they were killing me with Brooks. Like I can't believe I had to defend Brooks like this because I don't like her. But I'm gonna defend right on right because she is just living life. So
She
y'all was
said
trying to
the
shame her.
wigs are a C plus. Hey, she gave her a C plus though. That's passing.
That's passing. Well, I mean, they passable. You could tell when she in between going to the African lady, as it's being alleged between, Lisa and Chanel Ayan. You could tell when she's different. There's someone else, in her salon be doing her hair. You could tell the difference between the two. I'm just saying. So they then get on the conversation that happened, between Raphael and Brooks, and saying that, they didn't like how he was being aggressive towards her. They all felt like he wasn't being aggressive. And I'm like, I don't know what TV show y'all were watching, but Rafi was 100% aggressive with Brooks. And it was in a way where he was like checking, because, it's already been out there that Rafi and Brooks knew each other before he knew Talib. So now it makes me wonder, and like I said, y'all, I was questioning those gestures because it looked like, and this is only to me, and I'm gonna say allegedly, this looks like to me like they were something else other than friends. This gave more than friend energy. You was checking her like, hey, this is my wife. Know your position. That's what it looked like to me. I could be wrong, and it could be a stretch, but that's the energy it was giving. It wasn't like, and that's where the disrespect is, because if that was the case, then we don't know y'all to be that. So that's what I'm saying. There was an energy there, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm checking you because of Talene. No, I'm checking you over something else. And I have aggression. I feel like that aggression has happened before, even though Brooks denied it. But I'm just like, no, that energy has been there before. That something has happened. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Mrs. Best, how do you feel about that?
Let me tell Rafi, you spoiled. We know his daddy and all of that. You got your wife. Talene, there are rumors going around about these three and things that they may have been open to do together for fun while drinking. I don't know. The energy was weird. Most men not gonna like holler at another woman who's yelling at their wife. Mine's not. He'll be waiting on me to smack a bitch. I'm gonna keep it real. Versus like, or he just won't get involved unless he thinks I'm gonna smack somebody or something. But two women were talking, Rafi. Regardless on whatever relationship was there in the past, two women were talking. See yourself out of it. But you could be right, James. You definitely could be right, because why did he even feel the need to jump in? Like, what were you afraid Brooks might say when she's mad? It could be that. But regardless, Talene got in Brooks's face multiple times throughout the season, when especially with this specific situation. I don't trust. I don't feel like they had that deep of a friendship. I feel like the friendship was like, I'll just say it. I feel like the friendship was based on sex, drugs, and rock and roll, as they say. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think it was that deep. You know how some people you just go out with, have a really good time with. Some people are great to get faded with. I really don't see it as being much deeper than that. Because every picture they showed was them out somewhere partying from the
It's
past.
giving this is my old slide, but I'm not going to tell my wife she was one of my old slides. I'm just going to make them friends and let them build a rapport, and then let that shit go to our grade. That's what it was given to me. I'm
Because
sorry.
I do believe that Brooks has been around, and she do seem like the type that come sit on it and then be cool.
Yeah, that's what she gives me as well. That's why I'm like, I'm starting to believe, and this is alleged, y'all. I'm not trying to put Nothing on his miles or hers. But what I'm saying is the energy that they were given when you look back at that fight, that's not energy that I'm checking you about my wife. That's energy that I'm checking you about us when it comes to my wife. That's what that was given to me. It seemed like he was just chastising her to know your position when it comes to me. That's what it was given. I'm sorry. Like, I don't see, because to me, Talib was doing too much. And he didn't need to insert himself because she was hollering the same way they were hollering. Like, I'm sorry. It was definitely given aggression. I don't like how they were trying to dismiss that. And as I said, it was given, you
Because
know,
see, this cast, the difference between this housewife cast and others is two important things. One, you have a bunch of women, except for Brooks, and Sarah, who are actually married and have husbands. Two, the husbands that do exist on this show, husbands, boyfriends, and in between, but especially the husbands on this show, have money. Money that Americans probably don't understand, who thought that they was rich. So I feel like, and that was also a point of contingency with even getting the show to start, the legal woes that come with filming in Dubai and filming with a super elitist class of the wealthy. So if he didn't like how you looked and saw it came across wrong, which he would know at the time of the reunion, I can guarantee you Bravo probably don't want to get sued. They got enough going on. Bravo is not trying to become the Diddy of television networks. So I think that they're very smart to not say anything, but at the same time, just don't say anything. Andy has a bad habit, and that's why I don't think he's good at hosting reunions at all, of like chiming in his personal opinion when we are not here to hear your opinion, Andy. We're here to hear these women's opinion. When we want your opinion, give that when you're asking the fan questions or something, but don't, or watch what happens live, since that's your show. But I wish he just let them talk so that they could have at least spoke about it, because he was aggressive.
yeah. And I feel like they crazy for even not even seeing that. But that's where we leave off at. I'm not going to go into it because there was nothing else realistically that they discussed that I felt was worth mentioning. This was, like I said, the most tired reunion I have seen in quite some time. I'm curious to see what's revealed in part two. I'm hoping that once again, they need to talk about a lot more that I feel like they could have divulged in this first part. That second part better be lit. That's all I know. It better be much better than what it was at this one. But that's all, y'all. That's all that really happened. But it was a crazy first half. Talene got on my nerves. Ayan got on my nerves. Um, Sarah got on my nerves a little bit, but I kind of understood Sarah. I don't know why we bringing Nina up in conversation. I heard Nina's name 4 times in this whole reunion. I'm like, oh my gosh, she ain't even on the show no more. And she's still getting around in a mess. Lord Jesus. But that was it, y'all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to both channels. Me and Mrs. Best. Her information is in my description box. Any reviews or recaps that we do not do on my channel, we definitely do on hers. We did Love and Hip Hop Atlanta today, so make sure you catch the replay. And also, we did Basketball Wives yesterday on her channel, and make sure you catch that replay because we went off and it was a good show. So, we hope you guys catching in. I don't have Family Empire Houston on my channel Friday or Saturday. They have dismissed themselves, so we'll see what we do for Saturday. And then Sunday will be Love and Marriage Huntsville and Love and Marriage Detroit. So make sure you guys catch my channel then. Oh, the Braxtons. The Braxtons I have on Friday. So Friday we will have the Braxtons on my channel, or Saturday, probably Saturday. We'll have the Braxtons on my channel, and then we'll go from there. Mrs. Best, thank you so much for being here. Shout out to my girl Jen Bunny in the chat for holding it down there. We appreciate you. And I will see you guys on my next review, guys.
Bye-bye.